When the Rule of Two was enacted, it established a strict limit on the number of Sith that are allowed to exist at any given time, only a master and an apprentice, no more, no less. This method ensured that the master would be able to teach their student until the student became powerful enough to kill them or vice versa, thereby maintaining the cycle of Sith dominance. However, with the Sith operating in secrecy and not revealing themselves to the public, the question arises, how did the Sith master find and choose their apprentice, while staying away from the prying eyes of the Jedi Order? As discussed to this channel, to fully grasp how this procedure worked, we first must delve into a few essential aspects first. The Sith Order following the Battle of Rasan transformed from an extensive organization into a lineage, with the number of Sith dwindling from hundreds if not thousands to a single survivor, Darth Bane. This drastic reduction meant that if both Sith were ever killed, the Sith Order would be eradicated forever. Darth Bane encapsulated this urgency in his declaration that it must not end with you, emphasizing the necessity for Sith to ensure their knowledge and powers were passed down to one another. The Sith Order also could not afford to expire because a Sith was unworthy or too possessive to fully grasp the significance of their legacy. Consequently, a Sith must be strong, and a Sith Master must ultimately accept the fact that their apprentice will kill them. This harsh reality underscored a fundamental truth. If a Sith Master is intimidated by this precept, the Sith Order already had a fatal infection. Such cowardice is a dire infection within the Order that needs to be eradicated. As a fearful Sith is a liability, a true Sith Lord who fully embraces the dark side of the Force always prevail over a cowardly master. To survive and thrive, a Sith apprentice must grow in strength, skill, and knowledge to surpass their master. Failure to do so would lead to their demise or worse. However, it was not uncommon for a Sith Master to seek ways to achieve immortality, as we've seen with many Sith Lords such as Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious. Yet, an extensive focus on immortality can lead to narcissism and a deviation from the true purpose of the Rule of Two. Being a Sith Lord means outthinking their opponents and playing for every eventuality, regardless of the cost. A well-chosen apprentice ensures that the Sith legacy endures for generations, no matter the Master's fate. And now that we understand the importance of finding a suitable apprentice, how did the Sith go about this process? Unlike the Jedi who would scour the galaxy for Force-sensitive individuals to train, the Sith preferred to seek out those who were hidden from the Jedi's detection. These individuals, untouched by the Jedi's influence, were often easier to mold as their minds and bodies were still in development. While the full procedure of how a Sith Lord would receive their Padawan is not fully fledged out, from what we do know, we can make 6 key factors that played into how they would get their apprentice. Number 1. Force sensitivity. The first step in selecting an apprentice was identifying individuals with strong connections to the Force. Unlike the Jedi who actively sought out young Force sensitives across the galaxy, the Sith, if the opportunity presented itself, would look to individuals who were overlooked or hidden from the Jedi's detection. Number 2. Characteristics. Ideal candidates often exhibited traits such as ambition, cunning, strength, and a willingness to embrace the dark side of the Force. And most of the times, these individuals were often very psychotic. These individuals were usually found in places of conflict, poverty, or underprivileged environments, where they have developed resilience and survival instincts. Number 3. Observation. The Sith Lord would observe potential candidates from a distance, assessing their abilities, personalities, and potential for growth. This period of observation could last for a significant amount of time, as they wanted to ensure the candidate's true nature was revealed. Number 4. Testing. Once a suitable candidate was identified, the Sith Lord would subject them to a series of tests. These tests often involved dangerous and morally challenging tasks to test their willingness to embrace the dark side, their resourcefulness, and their ability to handle fear and pain. Number 5. Approach. After the candidate had proven their potential, the Sith Lord would make their presence known. This initial contact was often dramatic and was designed to immediately make their intentions clear upon contact with the candidate, to give them a taste of what true power will hold for them as a Sith. And finally, number 6. Offer of acceptance. The Sith Lord would then offer the candidate a chance to become their apprentice. This offer usually involves the promises of power, knowledge, and fulfillment of the candidate's deepest desires and ambitions. A prime example of these 6 steps being used was when Darth Plagueis, after realizing the potential of Palpatine, would use these 6 steps to secure him as an apprentice. However, despite the Rule of Two, it was not uncommon for a Sith Master to train multiple candidates simultaneously. A prime example of this was with Plagueis, who trained 7 potential apprentices. This method benefited the Sith Master, as rivalry among the students forced their essential natures to surface, making it unlikely that they would join forces against their master and kill them. It ensured that only the strongest of them would survive. The Sith Master would sow seeds of distrust among them, emphasizing that only one of the apprentices would ultimately become the Master's true apprentice. This instigated betrayal with the students as they would attack one another, playing on suspicions or outright killing each other in combat, as these skills were often invaluable for a future Sith Lord. And while it may seem advisable for a Sith to train a former Jedi, there was a notable exception for this. Count Dooku and Anakin Skywalker, who were both swayed to the dark side of the Force despite their Jedi origins. Dooku, who was already disillusioned with the Jedi and the Republic, was easily convinced to join the Sith for his quest for reform, and Anakin, on the other hand, was manipulated by Palpatine, who exploited his fear of losing Padme to lure him to the dark side. This shows that under the right circumstances, even a Jedi can be turned to a formidable Sith, demonstrating the cunning and adaptability required of the Sith Order. Ultimately, the Rule of Two ensured the survival and strength of Sith through relentless cycles of training, testing, and succession. This process not only weeded the weak, but also ensured that each new generation of Sith Lord was stronger than their predecessor. The careful selection and rigorous training of an apprentice allowed the Sith to operate from the shadows, gradually increasing their powers and influence without attracting the attention from the Jedi. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did and you want to learn why the Sith primarily only used 3 lightsaber forms and hated the rest, make sure to click on the video appearing on screen now. Also, make sure to like and subscribe as it would help the channel out a ton. And while you're at it, make sure to comment who your favorite Dark Lord of the Sith is. And with that, my fellow Star Wars nerds, may the Force be with you.